Hey there, Knolly Williams here, your success coach, and I am in the middle of my video series to help you out through this crisis. It's called the top 5 niches in a down market. Now, I just wanted to pause, kind of take a little pause of our videos in that series, and we'll just go ahead and add this one to the videos in that series because I got in a text or actually a messenger message yesterday through Facebook, where one of my students was asking, am I ready for the short sales to come back? And so I just want to make this quick video and say, are short sales coming back? Are short sales coming back? So here's what I see. Now, in order to really understand this, I'm going to whiteboard some of this for you. But before I do that, let me just say that there's a big thing, and I'll probably do another video on this. Yes, there's a real big thing that agents are missing during this current crisis. Now, you might say, well, Knolly, what are agents missing? Are they missing the skills? Are they missing the tools? Are they missing the time to lead generate? Are they missing the know-how of what to do? Really, what the big thing that agents are missing right now, and this is very big, I'm seeing it everywhere, is perspective. Agents are missing perspective. Now, you may remember, those of you that were hanging around me back in 2009, about 11 years ago as of the time of this video, I wrote this puppy right here called 7 Days to Success with Short Sales. Yep, 11 years ago I wrote this book. And this was when we were going into, and we were already kind of into that well, it was 2009 is when it was. And so remember, the market shift started happening around maybe 2006, 2007. And 2008 is when everybody noticed that it was happening. And then I wrote this book in the midst of that. So it helped tons and tons of people. In fact, Kevin Cooper out of Elk Grove, California, he mentioned to me one day, we were hanging out, he says, man, he made $1.3 million in commissions just from what he learned in this one book. So, but this is short sales. So let's look at it from a perspective standpoint, because when we look at what's happening with COVID-19 with perspective, we see a very different picture than the one that we might have seen. So when you look at it in the short sale days, let's say, for example, this right here represents about 2000. Let's say this is about 2006. Okay. Or let's say this is about 2000, okay? And what you saw was that you saw prices peaking. Okay, let's say this right here was about 2007, okay? When the prices were maybe at the peak, maybe even 2006, we could say that. And then you saw this bell curve happen, right? So if a person had a house that back here that was worth, say, $300,000. Okay, let's say you lived in California and you had a home for about $300K. Then by the time you came up here, that same house may have been worth $900K. Okay, or $800. Okay, then what happened when the market shifted, it may have gone down to about $400 or $450. So there was a huge market correction that occurred. Okay, now, this is what happens that creates short sales. So during this, now if there was never a bubble, this is what we call a bubble. All this up here is what we call a bubble. So if there never is a bubble, then there really isn't a correction that needs to happen from a short sale perspective. Okay. So what a lot of times people misunderstand, or they don't understand the difference between a short sale and a pre-foreclosure. They're very, very different. They start off the same way, but the back end of it is completely different. And the market that we're actually going into is what looks to me like the most phenomenal market that I've in my lifetime in terms of for a real estate agent. And it's really scratching at me to get back in the game, to be honest with you, because there's going to be so many listing opportunities in this emerging market that it's phenomenal. And these are going to be relational transactions. Okay, they're not necessarily going to be transactions that you make with strangers. These are going to be transactions that you have with people that know, like, and trust you, okay? Because there's going to be a big shuffling of the deck. So again, since there was no big bubble, so what a short sale is when you have to sell a property that has, where there's no equity. Okay, there's no equity in the property. In other words, the person owes more on the house. Okay, they owe more than the home's worth. That's what creates a short sale. There's a shortfall, and of the amount that's what we call short needs to be mitigated or needs to be forgiven by the bank. So in this case here, if this person, let's say their house was worth, this house was worth $300,000, and then up here it was worth $800,000, and I came along and bought the house when it was worth $800,000, and then after I bought it, let's say I bought it in 2006, okay, when it was worth $800,000. Then after I bought it, come around maybe 2010, and the economy was doing bad, and I lost my job, and I had to sell my home, and maybe it was worth $400,000. So now all of a sudden I'm upside down, hundreds of thousands. And this is the same thing that happened to me when I lost my home to foreclosure, because the same year, a lot of people didn't know this, how intimately I was attached to this particular topic, because the same year that this book came out is the same year that I lost my personal home to foreclosure, okay? And it was a choice that I made. That house, I bought it, and it tanked. It went down in value by over $100,000. And I just, the mortgage payments were due, and I said, I'm done with this game. I'm out. And so I opted to downsize. And what you're looking at, what you're going to see in the aftermath of this, Corona, is you're going to see a lot of people, and this is kind of the graph that I keep making to illustrate this. You're going to see a lot of people that are, that are going to downsize. The jumbo is going to go to here, and this one's going to go to here. And so the guy with the 800 is going to go into the 500, and the 500 is going to go to the 300. Okay, but as far as home prices dropping, remember when we showed you that bubble, and then so since we don't really have a big bubble, you don't really have a huge opportunity for prices in real estate to drop. So this will be a good opportunity for investors that want to buy and hold, or for sellers that have equity that want to liquidate at a little bit below market value at a wholesale. But I don't really see that there's going to be a big need to do that. I think that the pricing on homes will maybe go down a little, if that. Some homes will go down. I mean, when you're looking at the big, one big opportunity is going to be in luxury, because there's not going to be that many luxury loans going around, going out there for a while, and people that have a luxury home are going to need to downsize. So if you think about that, let's say, for example, you've got a home right now that's worth $2 million. Okay, this is your house. It's worth $2 million. Okay, and now with this economy, this coming economy, because the aftermath of Corona is going to be, there are some things that have occurred in the spiritual realm with this thing that are just going to be, they're going to leave a scar. They're going to leave a lifelong scar. The scars that this thing is leaving are going to be lifelong in some nuances of it. Not in everything that it's done, but in some nuances, it's going to forever change the way people think. I think I'm going to do another video on that, because that's very important for you to understand that this is going to forever change the way people think. In fact, let me do it. I'm going to do a part 2 on that, because I think that's an important concept. But let's say, for example, this person has a $2 million home, and now in the aftermath of this, they have to downsize. So they have to move into a house that's maybe at $800,000. So they have no problem buying the house at $800,000. They have good income. They just don't want to maintain a $2 million property anymore. Well, the guy that has a property now, say, worth about $5 million, he's going to be a prime candidate, or a $4 million home is going to be a prime candidate to pick up that $2 million house. But here's the problem that you're going to see with luxury and the opportunity. The problem is a lot of people to get into this 2 million, the funding is going to be kind of tight. So the restrictions around that are going to be tight. So people that have a lot of cash, now this guy that sells his house for 5 million, he may have a couple million in cash, and he may have financed the other 300,000. I mean, other 3 million. So that person may have quite a bit of cash to come into this, but the pool of buyers was always not that big to begin with, and that pool of buyers for the big houses is going to shrink. And so what that's going to mean is that the person that has a $2 million house may have to take 1.7 for it, okay? Because there's not as much money flowing for the person. Now there will be a lot of private money coming in, okay? But the interest rates may not be as favorable for that. So, so this person may have to settle, and so the person that's looking for a nice discount, this is a 15% discount, is going to be a prime candidate to go buy a house right now. That's a jumbo. That's a big house, big boy. So anyway, what I just want to talk about is, our short sales coming back. And the short answer is no, they're not. There are going to be short sales, no doubt about it, and there's going to be a big uptick in short sales, but they're not coming back in the sense that you and I would think, where I was doing, at one time I had 123 short sales working at the same time. Imagine having 120 some listings at the same time. Well, that's when the short sale boom was on. That's the kind of business we were doing. It was a brisk business. And you're going to see business like that come back, but they're going to be you dealing with people that know, like, and trust you on the liquidation of their personal home so that they can downsize it, or I should say right size, into the right house. Hey, hope this video has been helpful. I love you. I'm here for you. I want to encourage you to take faith. I know that right now it feels like we're on a runaway train and it's in slow motion. But just take stock and take courage that we're all on the train together, okay? And when this train finally gets off the track and does all the tumbling it's going to do, and all the pieces are finally laid out, we're going to be able to pick up the pieces, and we're going to be able to help a lot of people through this, okay? There's going to be a lot of opportunity in the real estate profession, and a lot of opportunity for people to right size themselves in the aftermath. Hey, I love you, and I will see you on the next one. Be sure to check out Knolly.com, where you can become part of my free coaching group. It's Knolly Success Coaching. You need to be a part of it so you can stay up to date. We meet every single week, and I get to spend an hour a week with you. Me and my coach Artemis, we spend an hour a week with you, helping you to sharpen your skills and to become the best version of you possible. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.